Hi people, Moreno Reichenberg here. It's neutral video topic time again, and in this video, as the header suggests, I am going to discuss first impressions and how they don't mean anything in general. Not gonna lie to you. First impressions do not mean anything. This is something that, maybe a good deal of out there of you know, but a surprising amount of people are not aware of this. And this doesn't just account for people, this accounts for locations and even inanimate objects in general. I know this through first hand experience. Of course, negative experiences, but yeah, what do you want? In any case, this is something to keep in mind if you were unaware of it or if you only wondered about it or theoretically, or, like so many other things, stuff like this just tends to fly past people as in you. It just goes over their head. Point is that first impressions don't mean anything. If you come across someone the first time, the person is super friendly, super fun, you need to keep in mind, you don't have to literally keep it in mind, but just understand that you only met that person once, that it doesn't mean anything. You're only seeing that person or experiencing that person on a superficial level. If you want to know what a person is actually like, you'll have to actually spend a good deal of time with that person in a neutral setting. So in a setting in which that person is not dependent on you or anything like that, and then you'll see that person for whom he or she really is, including their flaws. And of course, we all have our flaws, but I'm not saying that. But believe me, generally speaking, you will not be you won't be pleased. Okay, you won't enjoy yourself because this is especially the case usually when you come across people and they seem fun at first. When you actually get to know them, it's a real downer. It's a real letdown and a real disappointment. And yeah, you're simply seeing their flaws, and usually the negativity overrides the positivity. So yeah, it's up to you if you still want to engage with that person or socialize with that person. Bottom line is, it's not fun. Okay, I've gone over this multiple times, and it doesn't just account for people, also locations. I visited locations, for example, something just for fun, a resort or something, a place, just a location that you go to, a leisurely location. And if you go once, it's fun. The experience is great and everything, you name it. But once you actually go there multiple times, you become a regular customer. I can guarantee you that there will be times when you'll be disappointed, as in the surface is bad. Why? Because the surface is bad, this is bad, that is bad. And why? That's simply because you're actually seeing the place for what it really is, the place on how it operates on a day to day basis. It's the same thing if you were to go on vacation somewhere. If you were to go on vacation anywhere, it doesn't matter what country you go to or which country you go to. If you only go there once, then yeah, it's fun. You had a blast, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's because you're experiencing the best that the country has to offer. You're not seeing the country for what it really is. You're only experiencing the best of it for one day. But when you actually go there, you live there for at least a year, and you actually live like the inhabitants of said country and live, then you're going to experience the country for what it is, for what it really is, not what it appears to be at a superficial glance. And yeah, more often than not, you'll definitely come across negativities, and you'll remember those negativities. I'm just saying, people tend to remember the negative more than the positive. People discard the positive and see it as a given, whereas the negativity is way heavier. That's why that's why news overall, specific, is only gets attention when it's negative. Rarely do you see positive news that actually gets a lot of attention. The only attention, honestly, the saying goes, the only news is bad news. The only good news is bad news, because only bad news gets attention. People tend to only focus on the negative instead of the positive. And yeah, the negativities stay longer in their memories than the positivities. Point is, yeah, first impressions do not mean anything. Do not fall into the mistake of being so superficial to the point where you automatically make a judgment based on a superficial glance. That's like me, for example, going to Thailand or going to Nepal or Vietnam, and I've gone there and I've only stayed there for a week, and I say, yeah, the place is great, blah 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 blah. No, I went on vacation. I enjoyed the best of what Thingy has to enjoy, but that doesn't mean that Vietnam is actually like that. In order to know what Vietnam is really like, I need to live like a Vietnamese person. I need to work like a Vietnamese person. I need to actually operate within the country on a day-to-day basis from a neutral point of view, and then you'll see the country for what it really is. Yeah, that's the actual Vietnam. Just an example. I'm just giving an example by naming Vietnam. It's the same thing. When you come across a person, the person is really nice, really friendly. That doesn't mean that the person is actually like that, but you need to actually experience the person by getting to know the person, if you will. Let's just say if you've known someone for a year, okay, and you've hung out with that person, you've socialized with that person long enough, in a neutral setting, in a setting where the person isn't dependent on you to the point where that person is going to hide their true selves, then you'll see them for who they really are. Okay, but usually, people like that can tend to be two-faced. A lot of people tend to be two-faced. The way they show themselves, okay, it's either deliberate or indeliberate, as in it happens unconsciously or subconsciously. A lot of these people, they show two sides, and only when you really get to know them is it like, whoa, okay, I thought you were such a nice person, but wow, look at that, you're such an a-hole or such a bitch. Yes, that's the reality of things. I'm not saying everyone is like that, obviously not, but I'm just saying, keep in mind, first impressions don't mean anything in general. Do not judge a place, location, an object, item, or person, especially not a person, based on brief conversations you have with that person every now and then, on a semi-frequent basis. If you actually know someone extensively, you know a lot about that person, then you'll see the negative aspects of their character, and then you can actually measure that person by neutral standards or your own. But in general, in my experience, yeah, it's not good. Okay, usually the negativity outweighs the positivity. Yeah. And yeah, that is it in any case. Is there anything else I have to say? Yeah, the same accounts for places and locations. I have the clarity of mind to know this, okay? That first impressions don't mean anything, but a lot of people don't. So yeah, now you do. If you didn't know before, then now you do. And yeah, last but not least, I just wanted to say that there's nothing really that sparked this topic. This is just a topic that came to mind, and I thought to discuss it. See you guys later. Bye.